Chroma key is used in many situations these days, from television news to the motion picture industry. Green is used more commonly because digital cameras retain more detail in the green channel and requires less light than a blue screen would. So why do we use green screen at all? It allows you to separate the background from the foreground. In other words, you can be anywhere in the world. There are some strict rules you need to adhere to when producing a green screen. It is preferable to use a camera with 422 10-bit rather than 420 8-bit. The more detail and depth of colour you can capture, the better your key will be. Make sure your subject is not wearing any colour similar to that of the screen itself. Even a small bit of green in a tie can be disastrous. It's also preferable not to wear clothes that are too noisy, like stripy shirts. Today we are using 5 LED lights to produce not only a wash for the chroma key itself, but using a backlight to eliminate any green overspill. There are various types of green screen. On the whole, they tend to be painted like this, so that you've got a nice smooth background. And then you've got the cloth type. This is a Datavision CMW200, and as you can see, it's got an extended skirt, which is absolutely brilliant for doing full length green screens. The beauty of this type of green screen is it gives you the ability to have the full virtual studio look. So first things first, let's bring Jamie in. There we go, have a pew. So this is our, what they call talent, or should I say presenter, our Jamie. And what we're going to do with Jamie is we're going to light her in a way that we get the backdrop with as little hotspots as possible. The other thing is, of course, these lights over here, which are, these are 1200 watt LED lights. There's one here and there's one over here. Now we still haven't adjusted the actual key for the green screen yet, because these haven't been adjusted. But what I like to do is I like to put an extra bit of diffuse on. I mean, although they come with diffuser slid into the unit, it's better to actually diffuse them a second time, just to get a wash. It's just what I find works well myself. And obviously we've got front lights here, which we've not actually brought in yet to light Jamie's face. So, but what we'll do is, now that I've shown you all the lights, we'll get the grid of lights up there switched off, and then we can just deal with what we've got, which is Jamie and a good green screen. Make sure your LED lights are diffused. The reason for this is that you want to avoid hot spots on your background. On the occasion that you still suffer hot spots, you can easily apply further half diffusion, which will have a neutral density effect, cutting the light down by about 1 stop. So starting with a couple of 1200 watt LED lights will give you some headroom. Lighting the green screen, it's important to make sure that you have an even lighting for your green screen. Effectively what we've got here is, as you can see, maybe over here and definitely over that corner here, there's a bit of a hot spot. So what we're going to have to do is adjust the lighting so that we've not got these hot spots. And I'll show you how to do that right now. There are 2 ways to check for hot spots. The technical way is to use a light meter, preferably one with lux reading, or with the camera itself. Set your camera's zebra to 75% and look at your viewfinder. Adjust your lighting till the hot spots disappear. Keep your presenter a good 1 meter from the green background. This is to give as much separation from the green reflection bouncing back off the screen. To further eliminate a green cast, use a backlight, making sure that you're not causing any flare into the camera lens. Once you've sussed out your problem areas, it's simple to actually make slight adjustments. You can either dim the light itself, or if you have enough room like I've got, just pull the light back slightly. As I said earlier, if you've got a small space to work with, you can't exactly move the lights back and forth. So the other way to do it is to dim your light. And literally, I mean, we all know how to dim a light, you just turn the knob. But you have to reference it with something, because basically your camera is probably going to be nowhere near you. So it's better to have a monitor and output everything from the camera so that you can see the zebras on your screen. And then as you adjust it, you're adjusting it to the monitor. Now we've dealt with the actual background, what we need to do is we need to light Jamie. So the first thing I'm going to do, the first light I always switch on is the backlight, because that's the one that basically makes the difference as far as spill from the green screen itself. Then the next two lights, basically what you're doing is you're just adding light to the face so that there's no shadows. The other thing you must remember is when you're lighting for the actual face itself, the face is actually lighter than the green in the background. So you don't need a great amount of light, because what you don't want to do is cause hot spots. There's nothing that's going to hinder this green screen because we've now got very little light being reflected off the back wall here. And that's really what you're worried about. You're worried about what they call overspill. But if you're, and let's just measure it, 1, 2, 3, you're about 4 feet away from the screen itself, and 4 feet is more than adequate. And as you can see, once I step out the road, now once again, you've noticed, see things like this light here, don't worry about that. That can easily be cropped out, basically, in your NLE. Anything, I mean, even if I stand here, and basically what you can do is I'll crop myself out, and although you can hear me talking, you can see that I've cropped myself out. Now the only thing that is the problem here that I've caused by standing here, of course, is my shadow. So what I'll do is I'll just cut away to a clean shot of Jamie, just to show you. And what kind of background would you like, Jamie? Are you wanting to be somewhere in the world? Where?
Anywhere warm.
Anywhere warm, right. So there we have it. Jamie sunning herself at the Gold Coast. Now, the other thing that people don't appreciate is you don't need to light the whole green screen, because effectively, there's the light, there's the door. Now, although it's a nice key, I don't need to worry about that, because that small square is all I'm worried about. That is the only bit I really need to light perfectly. If you find your presenter wears glasses, get them to tip their glasses slightly, and that'll rid you of all the reflections. Fantastic. So here's a final resume. You've got your backlight here used to basically get rid of any backspill from the green screen itself. You've also got your two main lights to light the green screen. And then you've obviously got to light the presenter from your two LED lights at the front. And once they're all switched on, everything's ready to go. The last tip I want to pass on to you is, say you want to change the background. In other words, let's have a shallow depth of field. You just add some blur. And the other thing you can do is you can change the size by scaling the background. This has been a Holden educational series about producing a green screen.